Good morning, students. Today we will read the third lesson of Flamingo Deep Water, written by William Douglas. This lesson is an excerpt from O Men and Mountains, written by William Douglas. It reveals how, as a young boy, William Douglas nearly drowned in a swimming pool. In this essay, Douglas talks about his fear of water and thereafter how he finally overcame it. He tells us that when he was 3 or 4 years old, he had an aversion to water when he was in it. It is interesting to note how the author uses his autobiographical part to support his discussion of fear. After he overcomes his fear of water, of a great truth dawns upon him. He realizes that in death there is peace, but there is terror only in the fear of death. Therefore, one should overcome the fear itself. William Douglas narrates his experience in this lesson in a very lucid and simple manner. Now let's start the lesson. First page. It had happened when I was 10 or 11 years old. I had decided to learn to swim. There was a pool at the YMCA in Yakima that offered exactly the opportunity. Yakima is a river basically. The Yakima River was treacherous. The meaning of treacherous here, that cannot be trusted. Mother continually warned against it and kept fresh in mind the details of each drowning in the river. But the YMCA pool was safe. It was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end. Shallow means the end which is not deep. And while it was 9 feet deep at the other, the drop was gradual. I got a pair of water wings. Water wings, basically they are inflatable armbands. These are the swim aids designed to help a wearer float in water. For the newcomers basically. So I got a pair of water wings and went to the pool. I hated to walk. Next page. I hated to walk naked into it and show my skinny legs. Skinny means very thin. But I subdued my pride and did it. Subdued to control something. From the beginning, however, I had an aversion to the water. Aversion is a strong feeling of disliking. From the beginning, however, I had an aversion to the water when I was in it. This started when I was 3 or 4 years old and father took me to the beach in California. He and I stood together in the surf. Surf is a foam produced at the waves, at the waves of water. So I hung on to him, yet the waves knocked me down and swept over me. I was buried in water. My breath was gone. I was frightened. Father laughed, but there was terror in my heart at the overpowering forces of the waves. Overpowering means to defeat or to gain control on somebody. Next paragraph. My introduction to the YMCA swimming pool revived unpleasant memories. Revived means to bring again. Revived unpleasant memories and stilled childish fears. Stilled means to evoke. But in a little while I gathered confidence. I paddled with my new water wings, watching the other boys and trying to learn by aping them. Aping means imitating. I did this 2 or 3 times on different days and was just beginning to feel at ease in the water when the misadventure happened. I went to the pool when no one else was there. The place was quiet, the water was still, and the tiled bottom was as white and clean as a bathtub. I was timid, means nervous. I was timid about going in alone. So I sat on the side of the pool to wait for others. I had not been there long when in came a big bruiser. Bruiser means a large and a strong sized person. I had not been there long when in came a big bruiser of a boy, probably 18 years old. He had thick hair on his chest. He was a beautiful physical specimen. Specimen means sample, with legs and arms that shows rippling muscles. Rippling means moving like small wave, rippling muscles. He yelled, "Hi, skinny, how do you like to be ducked?" This is the question he asked. How do you like to be ducked? Ducked means to try to avoid something unpleasant. Next paragraph. With that, he picked me up and tossed me into the deep end. Toss means to throw him. With that, he picked me up and tossed me into the deep end. I landed in a sitting position, swallowed water, and went at once to the bottom. I was frightened, but not yet frightened out of my wits. On the way down, I planned. When my feet hit the bottom, I would make a big jump, come to the surface, lie flat on it, and paddle to the edge of the pool. It seemed a long way down. Those 9 feet were more like 90. And before I touched bottom, my lungs were ready to burst. But when my feet hit bottom, I gathered all my strength and made what I thought was a great spring upwards. I imagined I would bob to the surface. Bob means to move up. I imagined I would bob to the surface like a cock. Instead, I came up slowly. I opened my eyes and saw nothing. Next page. I opened my eyes and saw nothing but water. Water that had a dirty yellow tinge to it. Tinge means a small amount of yellow color. I grew panicky. Panicky means a fear that cannot be controlled. I reached up as to grab a rope and my hands clutched only water. I was suffocating. I tried to yell, but no sound came out. Then my eyes and nose came out of the water, but not my mouth. I flailed at the surface. Flailed means moved arms and legs, held tightly the water to grab a rope, and my hands clutched only water. I was suffocating. I tried to yell, but no sound came out. Then my eyes and nose came out of the water, but not my mouth. I flailed at the surface of the water, swallowed and choked. I tried to bring my legs up, but they hung as dead weights, paralyzed and rigid. A great force was pulling me under. I screamed, but only the water heard me. I had started on the long journey back to the bottom of the pool. I struck at the water as I went down, expending my strength as one in nightmare. Nightmare means an unpleasant dream. I went down, expending my strength as one in a nightmare fights, an irresistible force. I had lost all my breath. My lungs ached. My head throbbed, means to start, the head started paining. I was getting dizzy, means I was getting giddy. But I remembered the strategy, means, but I remembered the plan, which is at the back of my head. I would spring from the bottom of the pool and come like a cock to the surface. I would lie flat on the water, strike out with my arms, and thrash with my legs. Thrash means to beat. Then I would get to the edge of the pool and be safe. I went down, down, endlessly. I opened my eyes. Nothing but water with a yellow glow. Dark water that one could not see through. And then sheer stark terror seized me. Sheer means only. Stark means impossible. Terror means you can say terror means to get afraid of, and seized means to take control of, And then sheer stark terror seized me, terror that knows no understanding, terror that knows no control, terror that no one can understand who has not experienced it. I was shrieking underwater. I was paralyzed underwater, stiff, rigid with fear. Stiff means the part of the body which does not easily move, and rigid means still. I was paralyzed underwater, stiff, rigid with fear. Even the screams in my throat were frozen. Only my heart and the pounding in my head, pounding means beating sound in my head, said that I was still alive. And then, in the midst of the terror, came a touch of reason. Here, a touch of reason means a reason told him to jump when he hit the bottom. When the narrator hit the bottom, that reason came into his mind, and then in the midst of the terror came a touch of reason. I must remember to jump when I hit the bottom. At last, I felt the tiles under me. My toes reached out as if to grab them. I jumped with everything I had, but the jump made no difference. The water was still around me. I looked for ropes, ladders, water wings, nothing but water. A mass of yellow water held me. Stark terror took an even deeper hold on me, like a great charge of electricity. I shook and trembled with fright. My arms wouldn't move. My legs wouldn't move. I tried to call for help, to call for mother. Nothing happened. Next page. And then strangely, there was light. I was coming out of the awful yellow water. At least my eyes were. My nose was almost out too. Then I started down a third time. I sucked for air and got water. The yellowish light was going out. Then all effort ceased. Underline this statement. The meaning of this, all effort ceased. When Douglas gave up all his efforts to save himself, he felt relaxed and calm. Then he lost his consciousness. A blackness swept over his mind and it wiped out fear and terror. Now there was no more panic. It was all quiet and peaceful. He crossed the oblivion. He crossed the oblivion and the curtain of his life fall. That is, he became unconscious. So, now switch on to the paragraph once again. Then all effort ceased. I relaxed. Even my legs felt limp. Limbs means legs which lack strength, lacking of strength. And a blackness swept over my brain. It wiped out fear. It wiped out terror. There was no more panic. It was quiet and peaceful. Nothing to be afraid of. This is nice. To be drowsy means to be sleepy, to go to sleep. No need to jump. Too tired to jump. It's nice to be carried gently, to float along in space. Tender arms around me, tender arms like mothers. Now I must go to sleep. I cross to oblivion. Underline this. I cross to oblivion. It is a state of unconsciousness where you do not know what is happening. I crossed to oblivion and the curtain of life fell. The next I remember, I was lying on my stomach beside the pool, vomiting. The chap that threw me in was saying, but I was only fooling. Someone said, the kid nearly died. Be all right now. Let's carry him to the locker room. Several hours later, I walked home. I was weak and trembling. I was shaking. I shook and cried when I lay on my bed. I couldn't eat that night. For days, a haunting fear. Haunting means to continue to cause a certain problem. For days, a haunting fear was in my heart. The slightest exertion upset me, making me wobbly in the knees and sick to my stomach. I never went back to the pool. I fear water. I avoided it whenever I could. A few years later, when I came to know the waters of the Cascades basically a small waterfall, I wanted to get into them. And whenever I did, whether I was wading the Teton, wading means to walk through water, or bumping river, or bathing in warm lake of the Goat Rocks, the terror that had seized me in the pool would come back. It would take possession of me completely. My legs would become paralyzed. Icy horror would grab my heart. This handicap stayed with me as the years rolled by. In canoes, they are basically the light, narrow boats. This handicap stayed with me as the years rolled by. In canoes on many lakes, fishing for landlocked salmon. Salmon is a kind of fish, it's a specimen. Next page. Bass fishing. Bass is also a species of fish. In New Hampshire, trout fishing on the Deschutes, and Metolius in Oregon. Metolius is the name of a river in Oregon. Fishing for salmon on the Columbia. At Bumping Lake in the Cascades, wherever I went, the haunting figure of the water followed me. It ruined my fishing trips. Means badly damaged. It ruined my fishing trips, deprived me of the joy of canoeing, boating, and swimming. I used every way to overcome this fear, but it held me firmly in its grip. Finally, one October, I decided to get an instructor and learn to swim. I went to a pool and practiced 5 days a week, an hour each day. The instructor put a belt around me. A rope attached to the belt went through a pulley that ran on an overhead cable. He held onto the end of the rope, and we went back and forth across the pool hour after hour, day after day, week after week. On each trip across the pool, a bit of the panic seized me. Each time the instructor relaxed his hold on the rope and I went under, some of the old terror returned and my legs froze. It was 3 months before the tension began to slack. Slacks means to reduce. Then he taught me to put my face under water and exhale, and to raise my nose and inhale. I repeated the exercise hundreds of times. Bit by bit, I shed part of the panic. Shed means to get rid of. Bit by bit, I shed part of the panic that seized me when my head went underwater. Next, he held me to the side of the pool and had me kick with my legs. 4 weeks, I did just that. At first, my legs refused to work, but they gradually relaxed, and finally, I could command them. Thus, piece by piece, he built a swimmer. And when he had perfected each piece, he put them together into an integrated whole, means to reassemble. Integrated whole. In April, he said, "Now you can swim. Dive off and swim the length of the pool, crawl stroke." I did. The instructor was finished. But I was not finished. I still wondered if I would be terror stricken. Terror stricken means extremely frightened. When I was alone in the pool, I tried it. I swam the length up and down. Tiny vestiges. Vestiges means a small part of something that still exists. Tiny vestiges of the old terror would return. But now I could frown and say, "To that terror trying to scare me, huh? Well, here's to you, look." And off I'd go for another length of the pool. This went on until July. But I was still not satisfied. I was not sure that all the terror had left. So I went to, next page. So I went to Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire, dived off a dock at Triggs Island, and swam 2 miles across the lake to Stamp Act Island. It's the name of the island. I swam the crawl, breaststroke, side stroke, backstroke. Once, only once did the terror return, when I was in the middle of the lake. I put my face under and saw nothing but bottomless water. The old sensation returned in miniature, in a very small scale, on a very small scale. I laughed and said, "Well, Mr. Terror, what do you think you can do to me?" It fled and I swam on. Yet I had residual doubts. At my first opportunity, I hurried west, went up the Teton to Conrad Meadows, up the Conrad Creek Trail to Meadow Glacier, and camped in the high meadow by the side of the warm lake. The next morning I stripped, means I got undressed, dived into the lake, and swam across to the other shore and back, just as Doc Coppin used to do. I shouted with joy, and Gilbert Peak returned the echo. I had conquered my fear of water. The experience had a deep meaning for me, as only those who have known stark terror and conquered it can appreciate. In death, there is peace. There is terror only in the fear of death. As Roosevelt knew when he said, "All we have to fear is fear itself," underline this statement given by Roosevelt. It has been asked in the board examinations twice. All we have to fear is fear itself means what Roosevelt want to say is that a fear is negative feeling and is a great obstacle in one's happiness and progress. We should not be afraid of it. We should try to overcome it with confidence, courage, and hope. So William Douglas decided to defeat and conquer fear in any form so that he could be a confident swimmer. This is the meaning of this statement, this line. Because I had experienced both the sensation of dying and the terror that fear of it can produce, the will to live somehow grew in intensity. At last, I felt released, free to walk the trails. Trails means anything which draws to length. At last, I felt released, free to walk the trails and climb the peaks and to brush aside fear. Brush aside means to ignore fear. This is the end of the lesson. Thank you very much.